Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I can't tell if there's anyone on. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. All right. Let me see here. How is everyone this afternoon? Well, my name is Leslie Worden. I am the Director for Outdoor Program and Camping for Girl Scouts of the Desert Southwest. I live in the beautiful Davis Mountains. It is a gorgeous 82 degrees here today. So I hope it is just as pretty wherever you are. When you guys start hopping on, if you will, please let us know who you are and where you're watching from. And we'll go ahead and get started. I can't tell. There's a few people on here. So today this afternoon, we're doing the product designer for the junior level. If you're a little bit older, a little bit younger, that's okay if you're watching too, because everyone can get something out of this. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is what is a product? Basically, anything around you is a product. This right here that I'm constantly putting on my lips, that's a product. Pens that I use to write with, those are products. Anything that you use, I want you to think about, what do you do in the mornings? You get up, you brush your teeth. That's two products right there, your toothbrush and your toothpaste. Now, I know everyone uses different types of toothbrushes, different types of toothpastes. It all really depends on what you like. And I'm sure you've used several in your lifetime trying to figure out which ones you like, which is why product designers are so important. So while we're on the toothbrush, let's just think about it. For me, I travel a lot for work. So I have a toothbrush that stays with a little cap on it in my to-go bag. I have an electric one that I use at my house, and I also have a regular one. Why I have both, I don't know. Some days I use my electric one, some days I use the regular one. Hairbrushes, the same thing. I have one that stays in my to-go bag, and I have one that I use when my hair is dry and one that I use when my hair is wet. That's just how I like to do things. That's why we need so many products, because the hairbrush that I use when my hair is dry versus the one that I use when my hair is wet, they're completely different. Completely different. Stoves. The house that we currently live in has a glass top stove. Do I prefer that? No. I prefer gas, but I have learned to use it. So those are some things that we're going to talk about today, is what makes a product good, what makes it bad. And the reason we're going to talk about that is because you guys are going to do a little bit of product designing yourself, and you're going to be figuring out along the way what's good about it, what's bad about it. Okay? So think about the toothbrush. I want you, over the next couple of days, as you're getting ready, as your family's getting ready, watch the toothbrushes. Watch how everyone puts their toothpaste on. Watch what brand of toothpaste. Do you have more than one brand in your house? Do some people prefer this brand over this brand? Luckily, my husband and I both prefer the same brand, so we can buy it in bulk. But I know my mom uses a completely different brand that when I go, if I happen to forget my toothpaste, I don't like hers. I don't like it at all. I still use it, obviously, but I don't like it. So I want you to start looking around at things like that, like what type of toothbrush your people in your house use, what type of hairbrushes. Do they use a loofah in the shower, or do they use a bar of soap with a wash rag? All of those are different products, okay? So speaking of products, we're going to do a little to open up that product side of your brain, we're going to do a quick little, pardon me, it's allergies, folks. We've got a little test here for you. And I know there aren't many people on right now, and that's okay, because if you're watching the replay, you can play along. So we're going to wake up our brain by finding connections in things, okay? And so I know Rink's on here, and I know that our council is on here, so I know you'll pick up on this fast, but everyone that's watching, if you'll play along and make some comments. What do a kite, a dog, and a computer all have in common? You should think about that for a minute. A kite, a dog, and a computer. I wish I had some little music that I could play in the background. I could hum it, but y'all don't want me to hum it at all. Okay, I can't see the comments. You're probably commenting, but I can't see them. So what they have in common is that you can play with all of them. Okay, so you get where this is going. So what do water, rain, and ice have in common? Water, rain, and ice. I know we got some smart folks out there. They're all forms of water. Okay, and you can use these on your at your dinner table, do some dad jokes. An umbrella, hat, and sunglasses. What do those all have in common? As pretty as it is outside here today, I could use I actually have my sunglasses. I could use any of those. Okay? They block out the sun. I only have 3 more, folks. 3 more. So a cheetah pantyhose, which some of y'all may not even know what pantyhose is, because I know it's not commonly used anymore. A cheetah, pantyhose, and a spy. They are all hard to detect, or they're all hard to see. Phone, chalk, and internet. A phone, chalk, and the internet. They're all ways to communicate. Okay, and the last one, I saved the best one for last because I think this one's fun. An elephant, a tree, and a car. What do an elephant, a tree, and a car have in common? They all have trunks. Okay, so use those as your dad jokes. Use them to wake up your brain a little bit, and then we're going to move on. So I'm going to tell you a little story about how the chocolate chip cookie came to be. All right, and I'm going to have to read this, so I'm going to be looking down. Who invented the chocolate chip cookie? Now, some inventions are on purpose. Some inventions, they just happen. I don't know if any of y'all have ever helped cook, but sometimes some of the best meals have come by accident for us. I know that for sure. So Ruth Wakefield owned an inn in Massachusetts where she would cook meals for her guests. In 1930, Ruth wanted to make a batch of chocolate cookies from a recipe that called for baker's chocolate. She didn't have any. So she cut up a bar of semi-sweet chocolate and added it to the batter instead. She thought it would melt like baker's chocolate did and blend entirely into the cookies, making them chocolate. I lost my place. I can't do 2 things at once. So she thought that it would blend in with the cookies, but it didn't. When the cookies came out of the oven, the chocolate bits had softened, but they weren't completely melted in. Ruth served them anyways, and the delicious chocolate chip cookie was born. So, a little tidbit for you, a product that was made by accident, but I think we're all very thankful that that accident happened. So I want you to think about this. Pardon me. Are all chocolate chip cookies the same? Do you prefer one brand over another if you buy them at the store? Or do you prefer making them from scratch? I prefer making them from scratch. But they're all different. They all have a different taste. They all have a different texture. So stop and think about it for a minute. What makes one better than the other? Like what chocolate chip cookie that you prefer? Why do you prefer that one over the others? If I were going to do store-bought ones, I would want the ones that are soft because I don't like a hard, crunchy cookie. But like I said, I prefer the ones that are at home, that I make at home. So those are things to think about, things to start looking around at all the different products. Cookies are a product. You may not think of them as a product, but they're a product. Okay, so we talked earlier about the toothbrush, about the hairbrush, the loofah, the stove. I want you guys to think while you're at your house, because we're all going to be there for a while, think of one particular thing that you want to observe. Maybe it's someone cooking in the kitchen. Maybe you want to observe how someone puts their shoes on. Maybe you want to observe how someone throws the ball for the dog. Okay, watch what they do. You might want to get a piece of paper and a pen and write it all down. Okay. Normally, when I do this particular badge in person, I actually hand out little notebooks so that the girls can write observations down and write down different products that they like, different things like that. So what happens before they use this particular product? I'm going to use my electric toothbrush as an example. Before I can use that electric toothbrush, I have to turn it on. Because if I don't and I just start using it, it's going to be like a normal toothbrush. And my husband would probably think I've lost my mind. Okay. So what happens while they're using the product? Okay. What happens after they use the product? Those are all things when people are going to start designing something, they look at that. They look at all those different things. You wouldn't think that that much thought has to go into it, but it really does. So think about an electric toothbrush. If you don't turn it on, it's not going to do you any good. Okay. If you don't turn it off when you're done, you're probably going to spit some toothpaste all over the place, and your mom might get mad because your bathroom's a mess, and then you're going to wear the batteries down. Okay. Think about if there's any problems with these particular, whatever it is that you decide to look at. What are the problems? What are the things that are good about it? Okay. Whatever item it is, whatever product it is that you choose to watch, when you start listing all these things down, it's going to help you to realize how you could make this product better, or how you could make a product of your own that would be a little bit different. Okay. So think about what you like most about it, what you like least about it, but observe how it has to be used before, during, and after it's being used. Okay? So, one last thing that I want for you guys to do. I can't see how many people are on here. I don't know why that's not working for me. And this is actually why I thought about this particular badge, because it's perfect timing. This is one of my favorite things to do in earning this badge. And like I said, if you're a little bit older, you're a little bit younger, that's okay. You can still do this. You don't have to be just the junior age. You might not earn the badge, but it's still really neat to go through these steps, and it's still going to help you. So what I want you to do over the next week, other than you learning about your product and writing down all these things about your product, we'll work on that next week. What I want you to do is pick a game in your house. It can be a card game, a dice game, a board game, whatever game that you want. Pick a game, play it with your family by the directions. Okay, so you're going to get the directions out, play it just like it shows. Then discuss, or you can discuss with your family, but also write down what you liked about the game and what you didn't like about the game. Now, if you're like me, I would like to say I don't do this as an adult, but I still kind of do sometimes. Sometimes I change the rules up a little bit, and that's what this is all about. After you discuss what you did like and what you didn't like about the game, I want you to rewrite how that game is played. Okay? If there are certain things you like about the game, keep it in there. But if you want to rewrite and make certain things go a different way, in a different direction, then write that in there. Then play the game with your family again, excuse me, and see how it goes. See if you designed a better product for your family than what came in that box. Does that make sense? So let's say it's Monopoly, and Monopoly takes a long time. I've seen people flip Monopoly boards over because they're done. But we'll use it for an example. We'll say Monopoly. Takes a long time to play. If you don't get all the way through it, that's okay. That's okay. Just play it as directed. Figure out the things you like. Figure out the things you don't like. Then write your own rules. You can add your rules in with the regular rules. Take some of those out and make it your own game. Then play it again and write down your family's reactions and your reactions to this particular game. Okay? It's a lot of fun. Your family's going to have a good time with it. You're going to have a good time with it. But you're going to be learning how to become a product designer while you're doing this. Okay? I can't see your comments, so I can't answer. I could see that Rink was on, and I can see that Cody and Charlotte are on. But that's all that I can see. So what I'll do after this is over, I will go back and answer any questions. But and if you want to, on the live that I did earlier, I asked people to submit. If you want to submit some of the products that you observe, take pictures of it and put it up in this thread. And if you want to do that with your game, take pictures of the new rules that you've made, put it up in this thread. I'd love to see them. If not, that's okay too. Bring it with you next week and maybe put it up so that we can see, because it's so much fun. I think you guys will really like doing that. So that's what we have for today for the product designer. I cannot wait to see what games you come up with. I've seen some pretty neat ones. And thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thank you.